FTimTraining.tv. My name is Margaret. I'll be your broadcast engineer for today. I'm here with the wonderful Christian Schmitz, who has returned to join us and talk about the MBS plugin. Hey, Christian, how you doing?
Hello, I'm fine.
Good. I'm glad to hear it.
Good to
Today
be
we're
back. To be back.
Yes, it's good to have you back. We haven't had you on in forever. For people who are new or staying, because there's a couple people who have stuck around with our series. Hopefully, by the end of today, you realize you should go get the MBS plugin. It's fantastic. It is absolutely worth the money. It's Look, even our engineers who hate plugins have MBS. Okay, so it's fantastic. I use it all the time. Uh, and having Christian on to explain the many, many, many functions it has. We were I don't have 7,000. Were we at 7,400 last we talked? I don't quite remember where we were in the function count, but it's steadily climbing. Yeah, if you're like, how should I? The MBS plugin, by the way, has a free version. You should go get it at monkeybreadsoftware.com. Go to the plugin FileMaker and then go get this thing. Seriously, you can do the free download. There's a lot of like basic stuff that really elevates your ability to code. Like there's color functions, there's automatic variable fill-in. There's saving chunks of code that you can copy and paste really easily because it's saved in the drop-down menu, and then you can use it as you will, which we use for loops a lot. So I think we're probably good then. Christian, hi, hello. What are we doing today?
Yeah, so we have now over 7,600 functions. And actually, 2,000 are free to use.
Woo, that's a substantial number. That's a lot.
Yeah, that's basically, if you want to have the good thing, you have to pay. But there are a lot of little functions you may use where we remove the registration checking.
Yes.
So, because if you have a little function, it can be that the check for the registration can take longer than the actual function. So, we can reduce code size and reduce, the time needed for a function by just not checking on every function whether you have a license.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, and we may throw a party for 8,000 functions.
Oh, we should. Once you get there, we definitely should. That'll be awesome.
So let's share screen.
Yes.
Today we are talking about the version 15.1 of the MBS plugin. As you may know, we do release every 2 months. That's really really fast development because we're making releases often. So it's not the thing you do every few years like other companies and then mess up, but we do it regularly, so we are used to it.
Yes.
And we got a couple of new features.
Of course. So what's your new features are we starting off with?
No, the first thing is I'm still working on the Saxon integration.
Ooh.
Saxon is a commercial library for doing XLST free for XML transformations, XML queries, document validation with schema, and XPath for querying data within an XML. And the library comes with a lot of features, especially since XLST1 is built into the MBS plugin for years and built into FileMaker also for years. This commercial library does much more. And there are a lot of people keen on getting their hands on this, so I'm happy to have it in the plugin. So anyone interested in this should write me an email so I can put them on the list. This should be released as soon as Saxonica releases their next update, because they actually had to fix a couple of issues in the library. For me, I'm sorry.
For you specifically?
yeah, for me. They had to fix a few things just for me. So I have a better version to show you today, but there should be a new Saxon release coming in the next weeks, and then we can finally give it to everyone.
Awesome.
To actually use in production, So we got a few new examples, and in Germany, we are going to electronic invoices over the next years, as well as other countries doing the same. And so we have Zugpferd and Factor X as a French standard. And technically, under the hood, they are both all the same. So This code may be useful for other people too. And we
Yes.
got new examples. There's my folder. So when you download the MBS plugin in a recent version, you get an examples folder where you have a section examples folder. And you get these examples.
Ooh.
And this is a Zugpferd download of the standard. So we can get here our invoices. So examples, we have here, let's say, a normal invoice. There's the simple one. So this is an invoice.
Mm-hmm.
This is a PDF view. The invoice contains an XML. Scroll down, it's like this. It's all the stuff that you need to show on invoice, like whatever. Which article, how often, for what price, what tax, all the information. The XML is embedded in the PDF. And the big advantage is that bigger companies want to automate all the invoicing. So they automatically generate an invoice, the other side receives the invoice and automatically can pay it if the stuff was received and the price matches the offer. So nobody does really need to look at it. So if you got the XML, you may want to visualize it. And there's an open source project here with some XML transformations, which we can use to turn this XML invoice into HTML and show it. So we got this sample file where you put in the XML. Again here, XML with all the different things. And then there is a script running and it will make an HTML. It's in German, I know, yeah.
That's cool, though.
But you can probably just get maybe an English version. I mean, just switch out the texts.
Mm-hmm.
And this shows you the content of the XML with all the different options. There are here tabs where you can see all the different things. There can be attachments and since everyone in Germany may receive such invoices as XML files with or without the PDF, it may be good if your FileMaker solution could detect with the MBS plugin that there is an XML inside and then just show it.
Without you having to do anything. That would be awesome. That's very cool.
So under the hood, you have to load a section library. This will be a download on the MBS page, so you can get a package from us with all the libraries for all the different versions, and you don't have to download different things on the Saxonica website. You tell the plugin where the library is. Usually just point to the file in the extensions folder. And once you have it loaded, you can run the XLSTs. So what is this script? Where we tell the plugin where our files are. There's a folder with all the files. We read the schema and then run the schemas with the XML, with the XLST through the Saxon processor, and then we get back a result. We need to point to the folder because your XLSTs may reference other XLSTs in the same folder.
Oh.
Maybe some XML data files. So you may need this working directory, but you can just have an XLST as a text in a field and run without files on disk. And once we have this transformed once, we transform it a second time from the intermediate XML to the HTML. This is all very nice, and I have a couple of people here in Germany who are very keen to get this specific example. And then I have a lot of other people around who really want to use XLST in FileMaker. And it has been on the wish list for Claris for 10 years or so.
So you just added it instead.
Yeah. So eventually I was convinced to pick this up and do it myself. So then we can use it also for validation. So I got an invoice here again, the XML of the invoice. I have a folder with the definition of the schema. So here we have schema definition. Yeah, sure, I want to show it. Okay, this references other files, so you would have to look at the other files here. Yeah, sure. So this defines what things can be at what position in the XML. So like a datetime string is actually a string with a certain format, and
Oh,
ID
okay.
types, quantity types. Quantity must be a number, can't be text. There's also a unit, and so all the different types are defined. And here the code blocks define all the different values which can be in different value lists. So there's one for all the types of invoices. There's one for all the VAT types for the sales tax, one for the country list. And these are used in the XLST to validation. Okay, now you got a schema and you can have an XML, so you can run it through with libxml. This is the thing which has been in the plugin for years. There's also the one with Saxon. Errors were found. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
In the schema, or what? Let me just see if what errors? Let me see. We have here. I think the last time I showed this, we had a problem with a space in the file path, something like this.
That would track.
Let me just rename it. So let's see if it's that one. So this is the file path. No. Okay. There is some error. Should I debug this?
I mean,
Okay.
I'd be down to see you debug. You learn a lot
The
by
first thing is
debugging.
always I run FileMaker from the terminal. I made my little script here to launch it, but you can just drag in the application and go to the FileMaker app within the app bundle.
Interesting. Okay.
I think we showed that before. And which was it? The validation one. So and now I open it here and I have all the logging on I can. So I get a ton of error messages
Ooh.
from the plugin and from Saxonica, so I can see if I see any problem here. So let's see. We set the folder. We validate XML. The report is empty, and we get okay. Oh yeah, well it's okay. No, it works. Okay.
It knew that you were pulling up the debug and promptly fixed itself.
Okay, let's add an error here.
Yes.
So let's say we have, what could we have? We could have an invalid type code. So let's say this doesn't work. So we validate the business rules, and there is a rule in the rule file which says the type code is not allowed. Because where is my rule? Here, this one. Yes. So there is search for something. So there is a rule which actually performs a query, an XPath query on the document to see if we find the value. So it looks here at this XML node of the context, and then looks up in this other XML file whether this value in the innovation is actually allowed. So this thing here has 400 rules to check for errors in the content of the XML. So while the first check here with the structure checks with the schema to make sure you have the nodes, that here one node is in the right position and you didn't swap them, or or different or the wrong type is used. And this one actually checks if your value is in range. And this really helps to validate these invoices.
Yes. Will it list multiple errors or only list like the one error and then
Yeah,
you check it
well,
again?
let me make another error. I mean, I can make a lot of errors. Um, let's say, what could I make? Seller assigned, dang. I don't know. Can I put a negative number here? Would this trigger? No, this
Oh,
negative number wouldn't trigger it. So you can have negative line items.
I
So
guess if
of
you
course,
subtract line item, well, but
let's put it back. Let's say, I don't know, unit code. So let's say I put just something in, and
mm-hmm.
yeah, now I got an invalid unit code.
There you go. Man, that would make debugging so easy.
So if you can get a XLST to do your validation of your XML, you can be very happy. In Germany, we will all probably have some kind of validation for incoming invoices because when you get an audit 5 years later, you don't want to have any trouble with accepting an invalid invoice.
Yes.
You know, in Germany, it's always about getting back VAT. So if you have made some mistake, they may deny you to get back the VAT. So you actually
Mm,
lose money by paying more tax than you should.
no,
Okay,
thank you.
as a punishment. So, okay, if you have any interest in XLST, please try the examples. Let us know that you're interested, and we inform you as soon as the final version is available.
Yes. A lot of people will be
Okay,
excited for that
let's
one.
check the next thing. We have a function to generate barcodes. That's nothing new. Um, so let's see. You know, we have functions to make barcodes, very nice barcodes. We have a couple of options. There's this cropping. I have to find the example. No, it's maybe the other one here. So this is one which is a little bit more modern. It takes the input as JSON. So we can make barcodes here with JSON as input, and we can put a lot of more options here, like colors, or here rotation, and swap the colors and border width and different things.
That's really nice and
And
actually easy to use.
yeah, and one thing I also did is make barcodes with circles.
Huh!
This is something a lot of people have seen in the past, which makes it look a little bit fancy, you know. You can
Yes.
also just use the same thing to make it lines instead of dots. Like the barcode scanner doesn't mind it. Just some black and some white. And the thing is, how we do that is we have this function to now output the barcode definition as JSON. So you get the actual drawing commands. Do we see them somewhere? Let's see. Oh, $JSON. So for debugging, we have them here.
Ah.
So you get told, okay, there's a barcode coming. It has a width and a height, and it has a lot of rectangles. And you see they have coordinates, and that's basically it. Some barcodes also have other things like circles and or text. Yeah, so
That's
let's
nifty.
see,
You could put a creative barcode on your oh,
like this
fun.
one. This one is a Mexi code for UPS. Like you may have seen that on some labels. It uses
Oh,
hexagons. So the JSON would specify that you need to draw hexagons and that you need to draw circles.
interesting. That's cool.
Yeah. Yes. So the example here makes the JSON. Then we read values like what's the width, what's the height. We actually make our picture a little bit bigger. And then we use our graphics magic functions to draw a picture on the fly. So we generate a white picture, we set a color, we get the list of rectangles and then loop through the array of rectangles, ask each rectangle for its size and position, and set again a fill color, and then we draw circles in a loop. So let me just turn on this one here. That was my barcode. So you see we have this lines now. So you get the rectangle and you can just draw around the rectangle there, or you have the loop to draw circles. Maybe I should change the color here and say this is better. So you see black rectangles with red dots.
There's some fun stuff you can do, especially if you put a barcode on your business cards. That'd be
Yeah,
fun.
and if you want to make it a little bit more fancy, you
Mm-hmm.
can increase the ECC level for the error correction, and then you can leave away a few dots in the middle and put your logo there. You may have seen that before.
Yes. I think you
So
showed us that.
if the ECC level is high enough,
Mm-hmm.
actually having a few missing dots doesn't matter. Like I think with the highest level, you can lose 40% of the barcode.
That's
Would
kind of
still work.
insane.
Yeah. So this may be interesting for people to have fancy barcodes. Did we
That's
get any
cool.
question? No, no questions, huh?
I don't see any at the moment. So
Okay. Then we have Windows. Some people may use Windows, so let's I think I have a Windows.
we always have a
Where is
couple
it?
dedicated Windows machine users in our audience.
Yeah.
So
So where's my Windows box? Test. Where's my Windows? Ah, there. Hey. Okay. I have Windows and I have some FileMaker here.
mm-hmm.
Not sure which version, but let's just try something. So what would I do? I get just drop a picture. This picture, okay. Yeah, just drop any picture here. Then we make a new file, and now here blank here. Make just a new test file. Yeah, don't care. And let's say we write a little script and say you could have maybe some file passes in your database to local files on your Windows computer, and you may want to show the properties dialog. I mean, this one here. You click on properties, and then you get this dialog, this usual Windows dialog about details and security and properties. Sorry, I should have switched Windows to English. So we got this new function. It's named, where's the name here? Files show property. And you just put in whatever file path you have. So for me, it's C double dot backslash, yeah. Uses, let's see, Christian maybe, desktop, and EMG1737 JPEG. So let's see if I type this correctly. Okay. I have to look up the path. How can I best look up the path?
can you right click the image and give you a path on Windows or no?
Yeah, yes, copy path. Yeah, sure. Why did I forget that? That's a
Because
feature
you're
which
sharing a lot. Oh, it's
yeah,
CS. That's where you
yeah. I'm sorry.
no,
So,
you're
and it
good.
shows here the dialog. So you can trigger this dialog from FileMaker with this little function, which is something one client at least needs. Maybe another client like any guy here watching could need that too.
Hmm.
And we got a share file function. This is a similar thing on that you can show the share panel in Windows. And it depends on what applications you have installed to what is offered in the share panel. So currently, so I have this file picked up
Hmm.
here, and I can search for people if I would have people in my contacts here on Windows, and then I would have applications to share the file with. This is similar to the share dialog we have on Mac, where you usually would pick something like send email, add to
Hmm.
photos, send us message. And depending on what applications you have installed, you get similar options on Windows.
There you go. Okay, that's
So,
actually awesome that Windows now has that feature because it's a cool feature on
yeah.
Mac.
Yeah, so you can build a cross-platform solution to actually have maybe a external container with a file on disk, because this needs a file on disk. But of course, you can just export it to the temporary directory and then run it from there. And then you could, on Mac and Windows, just offer the user a button to share a file, and then they can click email and send it away. So,
There we
and
go.
as you know, I have a few Windows users, so I
Yes.
got some nice feature for Windows. So, and let's talk about a different topic. If you have no
Hmm.
questions.
I think we're good. Just people saying it's cool. So people appreciate the Windows editions. So.
Um, oh, there's a question. Someone asking about whether you
Oh.
can use variables. We have functions for the environment to actually query things from Windows, like environment variables, like this app data path or users path. And we also have plugin functions to ask for folder paths. So yeah, you could use those to build a path. Yeah. So a different topic about security. And this is, you have this almighty plugin, and you may have a lot of solutions on your server, and you may not want every solution to actually be able to use the plugin for everything. So while the plugin
Oh.
provides you a lot of functionality, there is a risk that someone can infiltrate one of your files and maybe create a malicious script or calculation to use the plugin to do some harm. Yeah,
I hadn't
every
even
tool
thought
can
about
be
that.
abused.
Yes.
Yeah. So the usual thing I recommend people is to figure out which functions you use and tell the plugin to only allow these functions. So on the start, the plugin has a list of all the functions, all 7,000 functions. And then you can maybe run your scripts and use some functions. And there is a function called used functions. Used functions. So you can actually check with which functions you are using in your solution, like on the end of the day.
Oh, that's useful.
And then you can decide, okay, we need these functions. All the other functions, 7,000 something, can be disabled. So on start of the solution, you can actually tell the plugin, here's a list of functions you like to allow, and all the other functions are disallowed. This should include, so your list should not include this function, because then anyone could reset the list. I mean, could change the list. Um, so you can eliminate most of the functions, and then also there's a limit function again. Limit to file is something I made for some customers. They have, I think, one solution on the server using the plugin, and they want to just lock out all the other files from using the plugin. You know, security.
I didn't. That's cool.
That's if you have a lot of solutions, a lot of
Hmm.
files on the, and you can pass a list of files here, and the plugin will then use get file name with FileMaker to ask for the current solution name, and compare that. And if the file is in the list of allowed file names, we will proceed and execute the function. Otherwise, you can't do anything. And this is actually enforced very early in the call chain. So you can't even query the version here if you didn't allow that. So here, for example, you have 3 files, and those 3 files are allowed. Everything else is disallowed. And then here is allow everything. And so you should use set functions to disallow using this function. Yeah.
That's cool, actually.
So,
That's not a security risk I had considered until you brought up. I was like, oh, I can see how that
yeah,
could be
it's
a
something you
problem.
just can put in the start script of your solution. So every time you restart your server and you go into your solution, you can just apply the settings and be happy.
I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, this is something just a few percent of my users will actually use because they are in a maybe corporate environment where they have some tight security.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or the IT is fussing. They're like, we don't want you to have the plugin because we don't think it's secure. And they're like, haha, actually, we have security options.
The other thing is you should never allow the user to enter some text which goes to the evaluate function in FileMaker.
Oh, interesting.
That's
Okay.
another thing because they could use all the plugin functions there,
Oh,
except maybe you use limit function where you can tell that a certain function should only be allowed to be used in a certain script or with a certain account or a certain file.
interesting. Okay.
So if you need, for example, the files delete function in some script to
Mm-hmm.
clean up some mess after you did something, then you could limit the files delete function to be only used in this specific script or file name or both.
Yes, that would
So
make sense. So,
yeah, this is a topic we have every few years, and yeah. So
yes,
if you
it's
let someone
necessary.
just type in some text and then evaluate that, could be difficult because they could use any plugin function. So, and the MES plugin is, I think, the only plugin which actually takes care about this.
Yes, unshocked.
Yeah. Okay. Next topic here, elliptic curve encryption and signing. We got new functions there. This is actually so we have a lot of functions for signing and for encryption, and
Mm-hmm.
we got 2 new helper functions here. This is if you want to sign some data with an elliptic curve and then later verify this. This could be that you use some web service where you actually have to sign your request or you have to sign some other data and want to be able to use the same signature later in maybe PHP or so to validate it. And I added these functions because, well, at least one user had the problem to need that.
Yes. One
And
person was like, hey, Christian, help me.
yeah, and with a plugin, it's worse for me to add a function for just one guy because they need it and others may find it useful later.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have a function here to get the built-in curves. So you can ask the plugin which curves it knows, and this may be useful to know what's available and then find a matching one between 2 systems. Maybe in PHP you have a list, here you have a list, and then you can find the best one to go between both, like what's a high bit rate and what's a nice algorithm you may want to use. So just a metadata function.
Yep.
So let's see, next thing, the change log of the context database. So you may know that the plugin has the possibility to look into the context database.
Mm-hmm.
Where's my change in the context database? Let's see, as a script. So we initialize, we set a change script, we ask for authentication, authorization, and we check the list of contacts here. And then every time something changes, we get a list of the contacts, and then we can find which contacts are new or changed, or things that happened in the context database, which helps us to write code that syncs the database between the system and FileMaker. And let's say I would want to make a demonstration. So let's say I make a new card here. Hey. Well, why it's not working? New card. Okay. Uh, Something is not working as intended.
Wonders of live.
Yeah.
I mean, is it listening at the moment? This is a really dumb question, but did you start the script so it's actually listening for what's happening?
Okay.
Initialization?
Yeah.
We
Well,
talked
I
about
have.
it.
So I'm trying to make here a contact and edit it. Let's see. I edit one. Make another one. Change. So now I don't know. Do I have to wait for something to happen? Are we authenticated?
Do you need a new
Oh,
record?
oh no, we are not allowed to. Either security can be. So I can go to security, privacy, and allow FileMaker the access to the FileMaker is allowed. Okay. Disallow, enable again, quit and reopen. So this can happen. Yeah. So, oh no, I'm authorized. Okay, that's much better. Okay, I go to the contacts app and edit a record. And now I would be happy if something changes. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do I need to wait for this to happen? Does it? Okay, not all demonstrations are always successful.
Clean or, yeah.
6, 7.
You've shown this before, so I know
Okay,
this works.
let's put in some phone number.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, maybe it has to sync with iCloud, and there's no user interface, you know? Did I run in it?
Well, you close the file. Would closing the file turn off the
Oh, yeah.
initialization?
Let's see. Oh, we have the contacts list here. Maybe I make another contact. New card. I made a new card. Maybe click done. Okay, this doesn't work. Maybe it's broken or.
Because I'm trying to think. Because you close the file, it should still be listening though, right? Or do you have to
Yeah,
make it
it should
listen?
be.
Okay.
Okay, I will figure it out.
And
Maybe
it'll
on
be
the next.
fixed.
Oh,
Oh.
something happened.
Me and you sitting here chatting and it spontaneously appeared.
Yeah, this is strange. Okay.
Are we good
So
now? Are we happy?
let me make a change and see. And we just keep the file open and see if it gets a second lock. Okay, this is not as quick as I thought it would be, but okay, let's see what's the next thing. So Yeah, so you can track changes. Your FileMaker solution is maybe running on the same computer, and the user is going to create a contact or edits a contact, and you can then, with a little delay, eventually get to know that something changed. Okay, next thing is Python. We have a little Python integration with the plugin where you can run Python code, Python scripts, Python expressions. And a common thing for people is to have several installations of Python. So you want to point the plugin to the folder with the libraries. And for this, we got this little function to tell the plugin where to find the library. So if you have several Python versions, yeah, you can ask for. No, if you have several Pythons installed, you can pick which one of the folders you use. So it's just a little thing for people. Then when you're sending emails, we usually encode everything with base 64, but some people prefer to use 8-bit encoding. It's a little bit more efficient because it makes smaller emails for the same content.
Which is always useful.
Yeah, but always the thing is 8-bit encoding was introduced a long time ago, but it takes time for all the mail servers to accept it. I think we are at the stage where it may be doable.
Where it's
But
basically
if you send
universally.
newsletter to 30,000 people on 20,000 different servers, we hope they're all up to date.
Yes, you hope that all of their servers finally accept 8-bit encoding.
Yeah. Then if you have JSON import or XML import with a plugin to create records from JSON or XML data, we can now handle dates and numbers better. So we don't import everything as text, but we can detect if the field is a number field and then convert from text to number before inserting. It helps some people a lot. And for our Excel integration, you can address columns now with letters.
Ooh, nice.
So it's always confusing for people that in C++ you reference to the first item as item number 0.
Yes.
So the first column, the A column, is 0. And now you can just pass in the letter, and the plugin will check with libxl which column number has this letter, because there are some settings which could lead to columns being, it doesn't need to be starting at 0 at all times.
Yes, that's useful.
No.
The 0 stuff always confuses people.
If you do XLST with the plugin using libxml, so without section, you can now use some newer EXLST extensions, which we enabled for libxml, so you can use them in your transformations. Just some more functions. And if you use MQTT with our curl functions, you can now keep the connection up for more than a minute, because there used to be some kind of timeout with the server, and now we can keep it open for hours. Until this is something, you keep the connection open. Maybe the MQTT server is the one little Raspberry Pi sitting in your garage, which informs you about whether the garage door is open or not. And now you can have a permanent connection to this and then get an update message if the garage door changes. And
it can basically listen for stuff instead of you having
so,
to actually...
instead of connecting every minute, can keep it open for hours. Then we got a preference for some users for custom functions to about nothing changed here. So I go to custom functions, new, and I say, what do I say for parameters? So this is, so average. So you see, I type average, and I get here this parameter list copied from here. So you can toggle whether you want that or not. And
That's nice, though.
I think it helps people to know what parameters are there. Like here, what is it? Add embeddings. No, then you have for 1, for 2.
Yes.
So if you don't like it, like, for everything I add to the plugin, I need to have a checkbox to turn it off. So one of the checkbox here is autocomplete for custom functions with or without parameters. So we got a lot of options there.
Yes.
So next thing is we detect links in calculations. So
Ooh.
let's say you write a little script here and you actually store here some documentation. Oops. Specify. So like you type here something. For details, look up website. You put in maybe the URL of your wiki or so. Hey. And why doesn't it work now?
If it's commented out, will it not recognize it, or should it recognize
Um,
it even if it's commented out?
I just look. I have all the checkbox on. What doesn't it like here? Let's try. Yeah, it's usually in comments. I mean,
That's true.
let's see. Had to be plus D. Did I break it actually? Oh yeah. So this should be a clickable link, just like here our function
Yes.
name. You can click on it, and you can click here on file name to go to the FileMaker help to learn about
Yes.
what your
I
file
use
name
those
are.
links constantly. So
So I wonder why this doesn't work. No. Okay. We'll figure it out, and well, I'm using a better version here. Maybe I broke it.
maybe you broke it in the middle because in the middle of
So
updating something else.
if someone could try the release version and see if it detects the links, I would be happy to just make sure that I didn't I actually shipped it working. Okay, let's see the next one. Colorblind people. So when you have a script which causes an error, let's say go to record and let's say next. This may cause an error if there is no no. So let's see. It's no error. Oh, there it is. You see this error message here.
Mm-hmm.
Record is missing.
Yes.
It's in blue.
Oh.
There are FileMaker users with color blindness, and this text is normally in red. If you are
Interesting.
colorblind, you may not be able to read this text.
I hadn't even thought about that. I could that's yeah. It's a very easy
As
problem,
simple,
but it's not one they've ever broached.
I got this little thing from my daughter. This is just 44 on
Yes.
a green background. If you're colorblind, this is one color.
Yes. Which is
At least there's several types of color blindness. If you have
mm-hmm.
this red green thing,
Mm-hmm.
blind. So I made this text blue to make at least one customer happy.
That's awesome.
Very little detail. So if you use our context menu extensions here, you see I have here a lot of snippets, a lot of stuff in the plug in
Yes.
my collection here. You can use that with a plugin. There's a sample database which you always find on the documentation page on the bottom. here, example database, there it
Mm-hmm.
is, which allows you to put in little commands like this here. This basically is a command to put a big XML on the clipboard and then paste it into the script workspace. So you get all the script steps defined in this XML. And the new thing in the latest version is the possibility to have an expression to decide when to actually show a menu entry.
Ooh.
Yeah, you can put a calculation there, and this helps people to decide whether this command should now be available or not. And this is especially interesting because you can have your own commands here in the normal browse mode. And you can have custom context menu commands in the layout mode. So if you like to have this feature that I got here with snippets in the
Which is
script
one of my
workspace,
favorites. Yeah.
you can also have such snippets here in the layout mode. You just paste whatever favorite buttons you have on
Oh,
all the
that's so
layouts.
nice. That's so
Yeah.
nice. I don't have to go hunting to the layout that happens to have the button I know
Or
that I want
here,
on the other one.
for the browse mode, you can change these commands here, and you could just have something like whatever print record or whatever command you like, and then this calculation for deciding whether to show it or not will be helpful, because you could say if the current layout is this, then show the command, like to only show the command if you are on the right layout. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Okay. Yeah, and I have to find unique features that Claris doesn't build
I
into
mean,
FileMaker, you know?
yes, and you're very good at finding those and then promptly
So
implementing them.
next things is maintenance. I have a big collection of open source libraries I
Mm-hmm.
integrate with the plugin. So every release, I have to update a couple of them. Like there have been a few improvements to curl. There got a few improvements. Especially OpenSSL is always very security sensitive. There have been let's say, bugs in the implementation of the encrypted connections for HTTPS, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So we always want to be on the latest version to not run into any bad server that replies with malicious data packets, you know. So always good to be on the latest version there.
Yes.
So if you want to learn more, there are release notes where I write in detail what things changed in the plugin.
No, absolutely, which is substantial every single time.
Yeah, it's a long list. I mean, that's what I do in 2 months, you know. Uh, I've I always fix a couple of bugs as people report them. Sometimes I make just stupid things,
Well,
like cleaning up my code and removing one line too much. Or here, this is actually, you can discuss, is it a fix or not? Here, the search field. When you type here, the search field now scrolls to the right side.
oh,
So in previous versions, it didn't scroll, and someone complained it, and so I put it in as a fix or an enhancement. You could name it whatever you like.
I mean, I use that search function constantly. So the amount of times I go, I know there's a thing in here, and I just put it and I look for the little yellow highlight is a lot.
So another thing I did is I removed some dependency on Linux, so you can use the same plugin on older Ubuntu versions. I actually accidentally I made a mistake and used a newer C++ function, which was not available there. So you had to
Mm-hmm.
get a recent Linux, but I know some people use older versions.
So you
So
wanted to have that available, yeah.
yeah, and I removed the old Tesseract 3 from the Linux plugin because it causes trouble when you're also using Tesseract 5, because those have the same function names for some things, and Linux got confused which library to use. And you shouldn't really use version 3. You can just install version 5 as a package manager and enjoy all the new improved OCR functions.
Which is awesome.
And here, auto-completion was too aggressive with showing the pop-up menu. So I had to make it a little bit slower. So now you can type, and when you stop typing, it shows you ideas. So then we have the list of new functions. I think we talked about most of them. Oh, modify table view. This is another thing I made for a customer for Mac and Windows this time. And that's if you are here on this table view, there's this modify button.
What?
There's a modify button.
Yes.
You
Okay.
can pick which fields to show. So
Yes.
there's no way by script to trigger this.
Oh.
So if you want to have some script to show this dialog and then do something after that, you can use a plugin to trigger this button.
Huh. That's nice.
There's no
because
script
you
step
could,
for this.
yeah,
thing.
it's funny again that there's no script step, so you just you
Yeah.
just added one instead.
So okay, yeah, and we got finally a text split function by length. So if you have text and you need to have it cut into a list of values after a certain number of characters, you can use the plugin to do that. And as usual, this is probably faster than any recursive or
Yes.
any FileMaker calculation, you know.
Basically, instead of having to agonize over calculating it yourself, you can just use the MBS function and do it faster. There's
if you
been a
have it.
couple cases of people telling me, you know, the FileMaker function's so slow, but I just use the MBS one instead. You have a couple of those. Always
So
cracks me
that's
up whenever
it.
I hear about it.
If anyone has some ideas, some wishes for future versions, please contact us by email, by, I don't know, form on the website, by talking to us at a conference. Oh yeah, conferences.
Oh yeah, what are the next conferences you're doing?
Yeah, so I've been to the USA, and I will be going to the French one. And then I will be at the Canadian one.
Ooh.
And then in the Austria one. And I have to skip this one. And then I go to the German one. Then I have to be at home. And then I go to the Engage one, I think.
Your life is an endless cycle of going to conferences.
Yeah,
It makes
we have
sense.
so many conferences now. Like you see, it's 12 or 11. 12 one this year. So I have to pick which ones I go.
Yes.
But I can rotate and pick and choose. Like last year, I was at the Spanish one. No, this one, CodeWave. Oh, there were two in Spain. Okay, so I have to pick and choose.
Yes. But they can come see you because you're bouncing across the world.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, please talk to me at a conference. Maybe tell me what you use, what you like, what you would like to see more, what functions are missing, because basically all of the new functions are in the plugin because someone asked for it.
Yes.
So I could write a customer name here next to each function to say who asked for it.
Yeah, like even like there's been cases where me and Richard have been like flailing over something, and then we've like sent like a message to Christian, and then it promptly
So
was
I will
added.
not put names here on the checkboxes for who complained.
Oh, that's
I
great.
promise.
Okay.
Okay.
I think we're good. We do have someone asking, hey, this product is really awesome. Do you have any videos showing how to get started with the plugin, MonkeyBread for Dummies?
We have over 60 videos
Yes.
in your channel.
Yes. I'll find some beginner ones. So actually having you back on and like doing like a recap of some of the coolest and most fun functions at some point wouldn't be a bad idea. even if we've already covered it. But thank you very much, Christian. It's good to see you. It's good to see all the cool stuff you're adding and continue to add.
Oh yeah, if you go to our download site, download page, here are some beginner videos about installation of the plugin and using the first examples. So like we
Yes.
install it and then we go and make some barcodes or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And there's a ton of examples. The amount of example files that Christian has created is insane.
Yeah. If you have a week of vacation and you get done, 600 files, so about 100 a day for 6 days, yeah.
Oh, that would be fun. Okay. That cracks me up. I love that. Um,
Sure.
yes, after so many years using MBS, I learn something new every time. Yes, absolutely. So, thank you very much, Christian. Seriously, it's good to see you.
Yeah.
Uh, and you all should go download it. There's a free version that has 2,000 functions out of the 7,600. So, go pick it up. And then the actual buying it is not that expensive. So,
Yeah,
right,
about
every
150 bucks.
yeah, that's nothing. uh, thank you everybody for coming. I will see you all Monday, and hope we'll have Chris on again soon. Bye.
Bye.